Today I'm making a chicken sausage gumbo, but I really wanted to highlight how I make a roux. And this gumbo is going to be a little bit easier. You can see I have my chicken already chopped and onions already chopped. And the chicken does not have bones, and that just makes it a little bit easier to stir. And this is thigh meat and chicken tenders. And you can buy your onions already chopped, so that's what I did. You can see my smoked sausage and my flour and oil for my roux. So to get started, we're going to measure our flour and oil, and I have about 3 pounds of meat, so I'm using about 3/4 a cup of flour and 3/4 a cup of oil. So typically we do about 1/4 a cup per pound of meat, and I have about 3 pounds of meat, probably a little bit more than that. So it's 1 to 1, the same amount of flour that I do oil. So my pot is hot. I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. And I'm using vegetable oil and all-purpose flour. And we're just going to start to stir. And when I make a roux, I usually like to use a spoon, a wooden spoon with a flat edge, if you can see. And that's just to help get the roux off the bottom of the pot. And so we started our roux at 950, and I just kind of wanted to see how long it would take to make it. We have our stove temperature on medium-high heat right now, and we're just kind of trying to get the lumps out of the flour. And really all you do is you just keep stirring. And you really have to keep an eye on it because you don't want it to burn. So making a roux can be very relaxing. It's something that I like to do. Not a lot of people like to make a roux, but I don't mind doing it. Except for that one time it splashed in my eye and I had to get a patch put on my eye for a few days. That was not fun. But typically making a roux can be pretty relaxing, but you can't be in a rush and you just want to gently stir it. So here you can see the colors changing. This is after about 5 minutes. And we're still just gently stirring. And right here is about the time when I noticed that it smelled like it was cooking a little bit too fast, so I lowered the temperature to medium. And here we go. This is, think about 7 minutes, no, 10 minutes, and it looks like the color of peanut butter. So if I was making a seafood gumbo or a shrimp and okra gumbo, I would probably stop here for that. And so here you can see it's getting darker. And even the consistency is changing a little bit. And so what I'm looking for is kind of more like a chocolate color, because I want my gumbo to be a little bit dark. And so I'm cooking the roux till it's more of a chocolate color. And so here is where I stopped. And so I'm going to go ahead and add my meat. And when I add my meat to the roux, it stops cooking. So the next step after you make your roux is you want to roast your chicken, or basically fry it in the roux so that all the flavors can come out. And you can see I've stirred it to where the roux is completely covered the meat. So it looks like it's dipped in chocolate or something. So that's what you want. And if you could smell this, it smells delicious. And so for the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'm just going to be roasting the meat in the roux. And once the meat is cooked, once the chicken's cooked, I add my onions. And then I'm going to cook the onions for 5 minutes or so. And I'm adding some chicken bouillon. I don't have the cubes, so I'm adding the powder. And I'm just going to stir that in and then add my water. So I want to add enough water to where when it reduces, I still have some gumbo left and it's not too thick. So I ended up adding about 3 quarts of water, a little bit more than 3 quarts of water. And while that's starting to boil, I have my rice, and I'm using the measurements on the back of the package, but I like to rinse my rice, so I rinsed it 3 times. And now I'm going to add my water, following the back of the package, some salt, and about 3 tablespoons of oil because I'm cooking 3 cups of rice. So we bring this up to a boil, and once it's boiling, I turn it to low. And then when the bubbles slow down, I put the top on, set my timer for 20 minutes, and then wait for it to be cooked. So you can see our gumbo has been boiling for a while and there's a lot of oil on the top. So I usually like to skim the oil off the top of the gumbo. You can see I have about 3/4 a cup. And now our rice is ready, so we're going to check that out. Once my rice is ready, I usually like to kind of just flip it. And it looks pretty good. And it is good because I ate some. And now we're going to serve ourselves a bowl of gumbo. So in total, the roux took 20 minutes, and that was me starting on medium-high heat and lowering it to medium heat. And then we're serving up some gumbo now. It's about 12 o'clock. So the whole thing took about a little over 2 hours to cook. And you can add some green onions or parsley if you want to garnish. And that is our easy gumbo. And let me know if you try it. Thank you for watching.